and educate around us on nutrition, healthcare, and general well-being since last year. And today, so as before we go into the session, the I have like one few state announcements so to share the knowledge of nutrition, we have introduced it, three different aspects on the nutrition. So the first being the book review, which we are doing it today. So book review is a kind where we do any kind of that book published by you as a nutritionist, or any nutrition related books. So you can always reach us at ttalkstuesday@gmail.com, so that we can present your book review. And the other segment is journal reading. Any article of yours, any study of yours which is published in any kind of national or international journals, do reach us. We'll be sharing this your piece of information with all the people, so you can always reach us. And the other format is the case study. Any different case study that you have come across, it can be interns or anyone which you have seen, any different challenging different case, you can bring it to us, and we are happy to present the case study as a part of the knowledge sharing. So you can reach us at ttalks.tuesday@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to present your case study or journal or a book review. So welcome back to today's episode. Over to you, Dr. Janaki.
Thank you, Mayuri. Uh, uh, Welcome back to Tea Talks Tuesday once again. Uh, every Tuesday, it's a new topic for us, and something interesting we are learning in turn by introducing our nutritional professionals, or people from the diet, nutrition, or health fraternity. So today's topic is on Dr. Karuna's Kitchen Secrets of Telangana. She is the author of this book, and this Kitchen Secrets of Telangana stemmed from 100-year-old joint family in Secunderabad, spanning 6 to 8 generations. That is Karuna's family. She, being by watching large common cooking for so many family members, uh, she became, I mean, it intrigued her, and she started observing, and she started noting them, and she gave it to all of us as Kitchen Secrets of Telangana. This book today we are going to review. She's a hotelier, one of the oldest hotels of Secunderabad. If I'm correct, it must be Park Lane. I'm
Yes,
right, Karuna?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So she also has her own floral retail business, specializing in wedding floral decor. Dr. Karuna is a holistic health coach. She's basically a doctorate in sociology, and she has done her MPhil in entrepreneurship. Her passion lies in food, nutrition, and cooking. We can understand with such a large joint family, we can understand, because every day it's a planning of what would be the next meal, and what you would be cooking for whom, and things like that. So her passion lies in food and nutrition and cooking. Therefore, she also completed 1 year diploma in nutrition and dietetics, and 3 years in hotel management and catering technology. And she recently done 1 year holistic nutrition program from Dr. Jean Clinics. So she is the first lady she's the first lady vice president of prestigious Nizam Club. I think this must be about 135 years old club, if I am correct. And she's an active member of various NGOs, which also includes some aspects of child abuse, and she also participated in certain programs of she teams. Her first book was released in 2015, uh, which is called as Our Mother's Cookbook, dedicated to her mother on 75th birthday, which is, I think it's an awesome gift for her. For her all, I think it's for your mom. It must be a lifetime achievement book getting from her, and what all you learned from her, I think would be there in that book. Then she is also recipient of Outstanding Women's Leadership Award in 2020 by Hypebeast. And another recent award she got is now she's a grandmother too. And I don't think she looks like a grandmother anyway. And she has a lot of legacy. I mean, there's huge to read about, but I took only important points and to introduce her. You can ask more about her during the interview, and she has a lot of legacy to pass on to her grandchild now. So that's a lot of work for her. So welcome to Tea Talks, Dr. Karuna Dandu. So we are very eager to know about this book. And the first question would be, um, what inspired you to do? Anyway, you told about it's 100 years family, but still, but this particular book, you can start with that.
Good evening, Janaki Madam, Mayuri Madam, and all over here. And it's a privilege to be on Tea Talks today. So I thank you, Madam, for inviting me here.
Our pleasure.
Actually, my mother's been a huge inspiration. I've already mentioned there. But apart from that, what happened was in 2014, when we got Telangana statehood. After that, there were many food festivals and many restaurants had Telangana menus. So all over it was about Telangana food. But what I realized then was it was mostly non-vegetarian food and very few vegetarian snacks. So but then I was wondering why vegetarian wasn't included so much because it's predominantly a non-vegetarian state. I asked my mother, and my mother said because of the ancestors, uh, like from generation to generation, these ancestors handed over these recipes and the cooking methods. And there was no proper documentation. So it was just word of mouth. That's why you can't find all these recipes, she said. And immediately she took out her recipe book, which was dated 1952.
Wow.
And she just told a few names, vegetarian names, and even I actually didn't know. So that's when I thought we should get these lost recipes into the forefront as mainstream Telangana cuisine. So she was my inspiration.
Great. Great.
Ma'am, Karuna has some slides to present.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. This is about my book, and this is about our culture, the Telangana culture, about our
You
festivals.
can start the slideshow, Karuna Garu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a brief about the Nizami cuisine and the Telangana cuisine. And the staples, that is our millets, rice, and non-veg, which are very famous. So coming to my recipes in the book, Sarvapindi is a very popular item in Telangana, and it's famous in each and every region of Telangana. In Karimnagar, it's a different way of preparing. In Hyderabad, in Siddipet, or different areas. It's just that in a few places you might have spring onions in it or bottle gourd, but that's the main. Sarvapindi is the same. The taste is the same, and it's given as breakfast, and it's quite heavy, so you don't feel hungry for quite some time. And sakinalu, these we get in small as well as big sizes. The small ones we eat it as snacks and for tea time, but the big ones we give it in the weddings as sare. So this is a very popular item. Even for Sankranti, we make these sakinalu. And there are many varieties with green chili paste, with red chili powder. And for people who have dental issues, you can actually powder them and mix some onions and pickle and eat it. So that's one of the famous items. Coming to Gaddinoola Podi and Rail Palaram. About Gaddinoola Podi, it's very unique, this powder. It's called Niger seeds in English. And these seeds are actually, the history is the sixth Nizam of Telangana, that is Mir Mehboob Ali Khan, along with his soldiers from Ethiopia. They were called Siddhis then. They had brought these seeds. So that's how it came here. So that influence of Mughlai and all that is there here. So with these Niger seeds, this podi is made, Gadinula podi, and it's got multiple benefits. It can be eaten with hot rice, and or you can mix it in some curries too. And this Rail Palaram is a snack. My grandmother used to make it, and whenever we went on journeys, this item used to be taken in the train. Pachi Pulsu is also very famous. It's a raw rasam, and only the tempering is made on heat. Otherwise, the whole thing is raw and very tasty, and it is good for digestion. And in summers, generally people have this with rice. Naranja Papucharu Naranjaka is a kind of lemon which is bigger than the regular lemon, and this is also seasonal. And this is put in dals, and it gives a very different flavor, very unique, a very tangy flavor. This is also quite popular during the season. Challasegu. This is my favorite, my daughter's favorite, and it's very, very famous in Sikandrabad. It is spicy, and it's got a lot of curd and green chili. So even in abroad, a lot of people ask us to send it. So that's one of the hot favorites. And coming to all the Saddilu we make it for Batkama. In Batkama, you know, it's a huge festival for 9 days. So every day a different item is made. On the 7th day, we make yapakailu, which are like neem fruit. On the 8th day, we make vendamuddalu with sesame seeds and jaggery and butter. And on the last day, that is the 9th day, we make these 5 saddilu. And each saddi is made with, one is made with desiccated coconut, with roasted gram, one is with tamarind, curd rice, and poppy seeds. Along with this, raita is given with doskai, cucumber. And the sweet is malidalu, with the roti it's made. Kaligura is again for, it's made in Sankranti. It's got almost all the vegetables in it, almost 8-9 vegetables with some fenugreek leaves and sesame seeds. So this is good for the bones. That's why we put sesame seeds in winter, and this is made around Sankranti time. It's a very famous curry. Barada, doskai barada or aloo barada, we can make barada with many vegetables, and this is famous in Karimnagar. So this is cooked in, just sauteed lightly, and we add gram flour and roast it till it becomes dry. You can eat it with rice or roti. This is Bojwar masala, my mom's favorite. It's a very elaborate item. It takes a long time to make these powders. And this has come from Maharashtra. My great-grandmother from my maternal side used to make it. So it's got a lot of garam masala, poppy seeds, sesame seeds, dhania, coriander, mint, and a lot of masalas in it. And it gives a very, very aromatic fragrance to it. And when you make this masala, you can keep it in the fridge and use it for up till a year. You can mix it in chudwa or in dals, or even sprinkle it on dahi vada. You can make a semia upma also. Siyali is, we call it a tiffin. Those days, it didn't come under snacks. It was a tiffin because the men used to go early in the day. So they never used to have breakfast. It was more like an intermittent fasting. So they used to go in the morning, and they used to have a heavy lunch and go. So in the evenings when they came, they used to eat tiffins. So this is one of the tiffin which is highly nutritious. It's made with Bengal gram, and all this is steamed and just sauteed in tamarind and red chili masala. Baswa Kajam is a sweet. This is also very unique, and you won't find this recipe anywhere. This also is from my grandmother, this recipe. It is the favorite sweet of Lord Shiva. Those days, Baswalu means they're called Ayalu in Telugu. These people used to come every Monday to the homes and collect. It's called sahityam, like rice. You give rice, red chilies, tamarind, and dals to them. So along with this, my grandmother would give this sweet to them, and it's made in Shravan Masam every Monday. It's a favorite of Lord Shiva. And these pickles, Alapkai, it's got its name because of Alap means alam, ginger and garlic, and mango pickle. So this is different from the avakai made in Andhra. In Telangana, we use a lot of green ginger garlic paste. So Alapkai has ginger garlic, and it's very famous. In summers, we make huge quantities and we distribute it. People just wait for the summer and keep asking us when we are making it. And Uppu Pachadi is also made with mustard powder. For those people who don't want to eat spicy food, they can opt for this. So thank you. So that's about it.
Okay, this book is available on Amazon. So this is my copy. I got this copy from Karuna. So it is such an interesting, and you presented such an interesting recipes, which are not very well known except for Sarvapindi and Sakinalu. After KCR has come, it has become more popular, I would say. So I asked you first question that your inspiration is your mother, and which is your favorite out of all this?
Favorite dish?
Yes.
Anything which is spicy. The pickles.
Challasegu.
Chalasegu is favorite.
Yeah, Challasegu.
Yes.
That's quite spicy. I tasted it. It is quite spicy and very nice. It has very good that tangy taste also because of the curd. And many of your recipes are like are very nutritious in the sense that they give a lot of course energy, and there's a lot of protein, and there are a lot of micronutrients in these recipes, as I see, especially the Bojwar masala. What are the ingredients that go, and how do you make that?
It's a very elaborate process. We have to roast so many things like poppy seeds, sesame seeds, dried coconut, and coriander seeds, a whole lot of garam masala. And then we also dry sliced onions in the sun for at least 3-4 days, and then we deep fry it. We make homemade potato chips. This is made with pressed rice, the churwa.
Okay.
So finally,
so
after all these
yeah.
So all these masalas are made and then mixed with the churwa, with the pressed rice.
So here you have given ingredients: red chili, dry coconut, shredded coriander seeds, sesame, poppy, cinnamon, bay leaf, star anise, peppercorn, oil for frying chips, and then there's the pressed rice. I mean, these are the spices that we have to use, and then okay. So basically, okay. Oh, okay.
This is how it looks.
Okay. Okay. And tell me more about this Niger seeds podi, Gaddi Nuvula podi.
Gaddi Nuvula podi, it is not black sesame seeds. It is smaller than the sunflower seeds.
Okay.
And I have that packet too.
Okay.
It is like this. Can you see it?
Can you put it a little closer? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So then we make it into powder. So it comes like this.
Okay. Okay.
So you can mix garlic and chili powder or fenugreek and cumin seeds.
Mm.
You can just make a combination. If you put garlic, then it won't last for more than 3 months.
Mm.
So without garlic, it'll last for a year.
I see.
So this is
Why so? Does garlic changes the taste, or it's going to spoil?
yeah, it'll get spoiled. The taste changes.
The
You
taste
get that
changes.
smell.
Okay. Pungent smell of the garlic. Any questions other than this? I'm just going through the questions.
Audience can ask you a questions regards to the book.
So when you started writing this book, how long it took you, and how you plan to do with so many activities? Have so many activities, and being vice president of a club is not a small thing, and that too it's a male-dominated kind of club. So let me know how you the journey from the scratch to making it, bringing it out as a book.
I used to call my cousins or aunts or relatives and prepare 2-3 items every time and take their approval.
Okay.
So if they said it's tasting like my nanama's recipe, or if it reminded them of someone, then I went ahead with that. I took out the photograph
Okay.
of those dishes. So like that I did several times. And after that, the editing process came. So for the editing, a good friend of mine, Srinath, he helped me all through.
Hmm.
And my mom also used to sit in the kitchen whenever I'm making. And if a certain dish didn't come the way she wanted it, she would tell me to repeat the whole thing from scratch. So
Okay.
I learned a lot from my mother.
Okay. It's kind of a learning classes
Yes,
from your mom, and by learning you wrote that. Anyway,
yes,
so if you took that as scale, if someone says that this is the one, this is the recipe, this reminded me of my grandma's recipe and all, that is the scale you used for making this. Wow.
yes.
So after editing, how long it took actually? How
It,
many days?
it took me almost 2 years because I was making the recipes, then taking out the photographs. So most of the time I wasn't getting the right container or the right vegetable. So whichever season came, I was trying to do that item then. So and then compilation took a long time because the editing and re-editing took a long time.
Hmm. How much?
It took me 2 years.
Oh, editing part of it.
No,
Editing
totally
part of it.
editing took me about 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
But I wasn't sitting on it every day. I was doing it, once in 2-3 days like that.
Hmm.
So I didn't take it
No,
very seriously
seriously,
initially.
not on everyday basis. Maybe weekly, once or twice, one
Yes,
dish, and then talk about it and write about it and redo it and then curate it properly, and then finally you type and then give it for editing. Great.
yes.
Okay.
My friend
So
Srinath did the typing and editing and all that. He really helped me. My mother
okay.
helped me for getting
Preparation.
the authentic recipes, and I
Hmm.
was helping her in cooking and displaying. Srinath helped me all through by editing it, and then I gave it for publishing once we were happy with it.
So how you manage to do this photo styling? The photos are really, like, the photos also look so very ethnic, I mean, the styling of the pictures is so nice. It looks so ethnic. And I want to show you a picture.
So all the photos in the used in the book are taken by you,
No,
Karnagaru?
not all,
Yeah.
most of them, but the
Okay.
cover page was taken by my daughter's friend.
Oh,
It,
okay.
it just happened by chance. We were trying in my daughter's house all these ingredients, and her friend was there and she just shot them. And her name is Varsha. She
Okay.
took the cover page.
Okay.
So see this, I mean, this looks so ethnic, the container, the chutney podi.
Yeah, I had to take it from all my aunts and relatives, all these. I
Hmm.
collected so many and kept them.
So you collected even the containers, the age-old containers and plates,
Yes,
containers, and recipes. It's a great work. Actually, it is preserving the tradition and the recipes, and then along with this food goes a lot of memories and culture and socializing also happens.
yes.
Can you just remember things like what are the foods that you used to eat as a child, and what, like, some memories can you share with the recipes that are there in your book? Do
Mhm.
they connect to any of your memories?
Oh, yes. Especially the pickles. Because I was in a joint family and they used to make pickles, it was a big process. So my daddy's sisters, all the aunts, and my mother, my aunt from my paternal side, everyone used to be there and they used to
Hmm.
help in making the pickles. And once the pickles are made, all the kids used to sit on the floor, and my mom and my aunts used to make muddalu, round
Okay.
balls of rice with mixed with pickle and hot ghee, and serve muddalu to all of us. So those moments are, something to be cherished.
How many of you?
I think 25, 30. It's a
Oh
huge
my
family.
God.
We have got a history of almost 100 years from both my
Hmm.
mother's side and father's side.
It's really great to be together, isn't it? I mean, last 7 to 8 generations, uh, being in a joint family together is something really great. I mean, it calls for a lot of perseverance amongst
Yes.
people. Okay. So that is only one memory. I thought you will have a lot of memories to share.
I have a lot of
Actually,
memories.
I'm recollecting my memories. Even I'm from Telangana, right? When you say that pickle thing or sarvapindi, my grandmom used to prepare, and I'm recollecting my memories.
Great.
And the Neela Charu.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
one, Neela Charu is so aromatic. The
Hmm.
masalas in it, the minute the water is boiling with the masala, my daughter used to come running because
Hmm.
she loves algada mukalu, potato deep fried. So
Okay.
this Neela Charu and potato mukalu are the right combination. So
Yes.
most of the kids actually like this
Yeah.
combination.
Hmm.
So that is one, and you can even drink rasam. This Neela
Yes.
Charu, it's good
Yeah.
digestion.
Now,
So many memories I have actually of
hmm.
so many dishes. Everything like min parote. Min
Okay.
parote I think is called dibbarote in
Andhra.
Andhra.
You ask me about Andhra, I'll tell
Yes.
you.
There are many common influences.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah, of
So
course. Telangana has a lot of influences from Maharashtra, Karnataka,
Karnataka.
and Andhra. So, but basically, the native Telangana food is quite spicy. Is it? It is quite
Yes.
spicy.
It's very spicy because
Mm.
of the red chilies, and we are used to eating these red chilies and the spicy food because the areas are like that. Our climatic conditions, because of the semi-arid conditions, we end up eating hot food so that we sweat it out and cool it off.
Mm.
So that's the main reason.
Okay. Okay. Sweat it out and cool it down. Okay, that's nice. And Telangana has a special ritual of drinking. I mean,
Yes.
drinking alcohol, drinking toddy, and is not seen as something a bad habit at all. I mean, it's a common thing. So, any memories related to that?
Yes, lots of memories because Telangana, there are three aspects for food. One is
Hmm.
emotional, psychological, and social. And
Hmm.
especially when it comes to Telangana, people love to celebrate every occasion, let it be a small social gathering or a function or even a sad moment. People want to celebrate with a lavish spread of non-veg
Hmm.
food and veg food and drinks.
Okay.
So food is celebration for people
Yeah.
of Telangana,
Food is celebration.
along with
Food
drinks.
is sharing.
Yes, and
Food is
caring.
sentiment.
Yes, a lot
Okay.
of emotions with it.
Yeah, it serves a lot of purposes in our life. Food is not just for nourishment alone, but it nourishes our mental health, and it gives way to socializing, and of course emotional eating is one we keep discussing, but otherwise in general it actually satisfies our emotions otherwise, not in a normal way I am talking about. So another tiffin or snack or breakfast is the siali. It is very interesting. Can you just throw light on this? Siali is a nice name. First of all, that's why name attracted me. I don't know from where the name came. Siali, there is one, I think, pub joint in Hyderabad by name Siali.
Okay.
Okay, so
Siali is this item is prepared from my maternal side, my mom's side, and the green gram is soaked and then ground and steamed, and then the cubes are cut and we saute it with tamarind and red chilies. So it's a very nice dish. It's high in protein and it's good. It's
a green gram. Okay, it's a whole green gram or a normal
split.
The split one, dal. Okay.
Yeah.
And you use tamarind pulp and green chili, sugar, big onions, and some baking powder also you use.
That is optional nowadays because nobody's using.
Okay. White lentil. That is black gram dal.
Yes. Split.
Okay. What is Nanama dosa?
Nanama dosa has actually Nanama's dosa got Nanama that name because she used to make it very well. If my mother or anyone made it, never came that way. So it's got these four ingredients, four flours. That is wheat flour and rice flour and a little bit of maida and besan. And it's soaked, I mean, it's fermented overnight for I think 6 hours or 8 hours, and then next day it's done with onions.
Okay.
For this,
Even
there's a
the
chutney.
sour curd is also added.
Yes, that's how the fermentation takes place. So next morning it's made, and a green chili paste is the combination, the chutney. It's got jaggery in that too. It's very spicy.
Okay. Even though you add jaggery, it is quite spicy. Green chili chutney. Okay.
We call it toku, pandla toku we call it.
Okay. So how do you make that green chili chutney?
A little bit of till, green chilies, you saute it and add tamarind and little salt and jaggery and grind it.
Okay.
But it should be spicy. That's a specialty.
Green chili is a specialty. Once I visited one of my friends' housewarming ceremony. They served the green chili dal. So they're from somewhere nearby Karimnagar. I don't know. I don't remember that area, but that's their traditional dal. So green chili dal is in greenish color. It's very spicy, but it's very tasty.
Yes.
Talking about food, I'm feeling definitely hungry at the end of this program.
Salivation is started.
Yes, of course.
We all are hungry again.
I know.
So we have a question from audience on Facebook. Samantha is asking, ma'am, any specific food for pregnant and lactating mothers that is specific to the region of Telangana?
Specific food, maybe green leafy vegetables are there. All the green leafy vegetables are very famous. Are pachalaku, ponagandi kura, punti kura, palakura, all the spinach, purslane, Malabar spinach, fenugreek, all the green leafy vegetables are very good. Then drumstick leaves are very good for pregnant women and lactating women. Yeah, those are very good.
It's a chamakura chuttalu in your recipe. So it looks like this, chamakura chuttalu. This reminds me of Khandvi recipe, the I think Gujarati recipe.
Yes.
So it looks like that chuttalu. So something like spring rolls.
Yes, it's made with colocasia leaves.
Okay, chamakura is the colocasia.
Colocasia
leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we remove the stem and then put the masala and roll it so that it's easy to roll, and then we steam it. So once it's steamed,
this is a steamed one.
This is a steamed one, but kids like deep fried ones. So deep fried ones are crunchy, like the spring roll you were talking about. And it's eaten with rice.
Eaten with rice, but it is not. Doesn't have a gravy, right? But maybe we can eat with some raita, rice, raita, dal, and, I mean, like a accompaniment to the main meal.
It's eaten with the rice only. We can make chuttalu also, and we can crumble it and mix some ghee and eat.
Okay.
It's a kura, it's a curry,
Okay.
a dry vepudu kind.
Okay. So Kaikura Kut. Kaikura Kut. This is it.
Yes, this is a very nutritious item. Kaikura Kut is, I think, this influence is from Karnataka because except for the rice in it, it tastes like bisibeli.
Okay.
It's got dal, it's got all the vegetables, the sambar powder, and all the ingredients which bisibeli has, except the rice.
Okay. So then I want to call it as meal replacement for weight loss.
Oh yes, it's very good because you hardly use oil, only for the tempering.
Yeah, and it is quite sumptuous to look at, and it is quite looks like, it gives a lot of satisfaction with all that juiciness and all vegetables put together and dal inside and without rice.
Yes.
People who are worried about rice can eat a Kaikura Kut. So I will definitely advise this in my prescription, Kaikura Kut. Yeah. So one more thing I wanted to ask you is about Senaga Gudalu is most common that we do. Like it's a chickpea. Chickpea only we use, right? Chickpea soaked and then seasoned.
These are other kinds of beans also we use, no?
Okay.
The black eye.
What do you mean by Gudalu means what?
Gudalu are these sengalu. These they're just soaked overnight and sautéed next morning and eaten, or
Okay.
it can be eaten as a snack. These are rich in proteins and it's very good.
Kobbari charu.
This is one more.
Yeah, very interesting. This is Kobbari charu.
I actually made it today.
I see. Okay.
I can show you. This is it.
Okay.
It's more like a coconut milkshake.
Okay. But not sweet.
No, not at all sweet. You take the coconut milk and you mix very little rice flour to make it thick. And you just give a tempering, and after you remove it, you add a little bit of lime juice.
Okay.
It's very tasty.
Okay. Do we add green chilies into this?
Yes, 2-3 green chilies you can add.
Okay.
In the tempering only you have to add it and
Okay.
boil it, simmer it for 2 minutes.
Okay. So we can take it as a soup, kind of like, as a starter, a soup.
Yes, you can take it as a soup.
These are all
Or as a
Neela
stew for
charu.
appam.
Yeah.
I mean, for appam also, if you want to eat, you can actually take it as a stew.
Got it. So we can use it for appam. We can use it for dosa, dibbarutta, and then we can use for toast and jawar rotis and
Yes.
chapatis.
Yes.
I think okay, because we add a little bit of rice, it becomes slightly like white sauce, but not that thickness, but slightly a little more watery than the white sauce, right? Okay.
Yes.
What is ponbiyam?
Ponbiyam is, the making is like a khichdi only, but it's more like a regular pulao.
Okay.
It's not mashed totally.
Okay.
So you put Bengal gram and onions and green chilies, tadka, and the rice. And especially if you use chittimutti aloo, variety of rice,
Right.
it gives a good fragrance. And
Okay.
this is also a very good rice item.
Okay.
Ponbiyam.
Okay. It's basically first tempered and then cooked.
Yes.
Rice tempered. Is it something to something like fried rice?
It's not like a fried rice. Fried rice is first you boil the rice and then you mix it. But this is you pour water and then cook it.
So
directly.
what is bagara rice? Is it bagara rice similar to bagara rice?
Bagar rice is you make the bagar and then you mix it in the rice and
cook it.
It's more or less like fried rice then.
Okay. So it's a kind of khichdi, but not entirely khichdi.
It's not khichdi.
Nadama pudina palav.
Nanamu pulao also, again, it's got its name only because of her. It's a pudina pulao only. But
Okay.
so we use poppy seeds and coconut and all these green chilies and pudina to make the rice. Just make a puree of all this and put it in the rice and cook it.
Okay.
So, with the vegetables.
First you make the puree and then put it in the raw rice and then cook it.
Yes.
It's
the green
not
masala.
after the rice is cooked, you mix it. It's not like
No, you mix everything in that. You just roast the poppy seeds and the coconut and all those. But the green chilies and the pudina, the green leafy vegetables, you grind it. And apart from that, you chop whatever vegetables you want and add all these and put water and boil the rice.
Okay. Saddal is very, Saddal is really something, there's Kobbar Saddi, Putnal Saddi, and like for every Saddi there is cooked rice, right?
Yes.
To the cooked rice you add these ingredients.
Yes, because on the Batkama day, all of us are busy. So what we do, we make rice and keep it aside, and we make these powders, these 3 powders, and curd rice, we mix curd in that. And puliora is a big preparation. So you have to make the puree, the sauce, and then mix it. So these 3 powders, we individually make those powders with desiccated coconut chili powder and salt is one, with roasted gram is one.
Gasalu
And
is
the poppy seeds.
Poppy seeds.
Yes, poppy seeds is one. So we make these powders separately and mix in the rice and add tadka.
Okay.
Bagar.
Okay.
Bagar is always there, and asafetida is always put in the bagar.
Okay. And
that's the
what are the ingredients that go in the bagar?
Mustard, fenugreek, cumin seeds, and sometimes even these lentils.
Okay.
And red chilies, curry leaves.
Okay.
And hing, asafetida.
Do we use bay leaf in bagar?
In all these other like ponbium or Nanamu pulao, we use whole garam masalas.
Okay. So bellapkai is sweet mango pickle, right?
Yes.
So in this we use raw mango, peeled like in strips of mango, powdered jaggery, chili powder, rock salt, turmeric, mustard powder, roasted fenugreek powder, and cumin seed powder.
Yes.
Roasted cumin seed powder. So how do you do this? Like with all these ingredients, you just mix it and then keep it to ferment. And how is it? Any cooking is there? I mean, with the jaggery?
Yes. There are 2 pickles which are boiled. One is udkintoko and one is belapkai. Okay. It's not like alapkai and avakai. So belapkai, all these ingredients are put in the vessel and on a low flame, they cook till the mango becomes a little mushy. And then you add the jaggery and cook it.
Okay.
So, and then you cool it.
Yeah, so should we cook till the jaggery comes to 1 string, 2 string or something like that, or
till it dissolves.
That's all.
And once it just thickens, you'll have to remove it, and only after cooling you have to put it in the bottles and put it in the fridge, because this won't last for a long time if it's kept outside.
Okay.
Because it's boiled.
Udkinatokku is also similar.
Similar, but it's got again garlic.
Okay. So anything with garlic, we have to wait only up to 3 months. Post 3 months, the taste turns different.
Not with all these pickles. I was only talking about gadinula podi or dosaginjala podi.
Okay. The doskai pachadi is also very famous. But this dosa, I tasted the fresh chutney kind of thing. But this is almost looks like a mango pickle.
Yes.
This doskai pachadi.
This my mom makes, and all of us love it. Actually, I still didn't get the right way of making this. Sometimes I get it, sometimes it doesn't come that way. The cubes are very big, almost like the mango pieces.
Okay.
And the masalas are put, and it's an instant pachadi. You can eat it for 3-4 days.
Okay. It will stay outside for 3 to 4 days, or should we keep it in the fridge?
It will stay for 3-4 days outside.
Erapandatoku is a red chili.
Yes. That is in the season. So we put salt, rock salt, and I put it outside in the sun for 1 or 2 days, and then I grind it and keep it in the fridge. So whenever I want to use it for curries or for whatever, I make Szechuan rice also along with it.
I see. Okay.
So then whenever you're removing little, then only put the tadka.
Okay.
Otherwise the color changes.
Okay. Ammamma tomato tokku is again your grandmother's recipe. That is Nanamma, the paternal grandmother.
Yes.
And Ammamma tomato tokku, any speciality other than normal tokku, or how it is?
It's very nice because it's all mashed up, the tomato, and because of the masalas. So we like to eat this with the
People
curd
can see
rice.
this.
Yes. With curd rice or
Okay.
with the roti.
Yes, tomato, of course, is very good. I mean, we can call it as a lycopene tokku.
Yes. Like a pinto.
And tomatoes, tomatoes supposed to give, the lycopene will be more active if it is processed, like in sauces and in chutneys or pickles like this.
Yes.
So the speciality of your Ammamma is what exactly in this tokku?
It's very different because of the masalas she puts and the way she cooks it till
Okay.
it's
Okay, it is
really
cooked
good.
and okay. And it will stay for 3 months, or do we have to put it in the fridge?
Oh, it doesn't stay for 3 months. We have to keep
Okay.
it in the fridge if we want it to last.
Okay. Nuvula sogi is also with a mango pickle.
It is like avakai, but it's got more of sesame seed powder.
Okay. We already spoke about gaddi nuvula podi and jeedipappu halwa and palapuri and
Palapuri
chaviti
is
pasham.
everything is associated with a festival. Palapuri is made for Rakhi. Chavti Pasham for Ganesh festival.
Yes, yeah. We also do the same thing. I mean, in Andhra. So another is Malida Muddalu. This is very interesting. Malida Muddalu. How is it made?
Made with the chapati. If there are leftovers of chapati, also you can still make it with a little bit of the nuts, koa, sugar, and all those. You make it into a laddu and just eat it. It's an instant sweet.
Instant sweet. And it is
With
done
sugar.
during Batakama festival only, or otherwise?
Generally, it's done around Batkama time, but later also, because if the rotis are left over, it's an immediate meal. You can just mix it and make it like a sweet.
Children would love this kind of stuff, I think. It's very nice. I mean, to look at it looks so yummy and taste. And Jawar laddu, Janna laddu. Janna laddu. So this is made with jawar flour and semolina. Okay. And desiccated coconut and sugar powder, almonds powder, and cashew nuts and raisins, cinnamon powder, ghee, and milk. So
to bind it.
Okay, for binding we are using milk here. Yes. So this will not last longer because we are using milk. It's an instant one. Okay, so we almost done with the recipes. Actually started from, this is your mom.
Yeah, that's my mom and me.
Yeah. Both look so similar. So you can imagine how you will be at 75th birthday. I'm sure the child would give something to you on 75th birthday.
I do have a 5th-generation photo.
Okay.
With my daughter.
Oh. Ullikadala vadappa. So how is it done? With the rice flour?
Yes. In some places, this is called papu billalu or garalu. So
I
in,
see.
I think, Nizamabad, Medak, Hyderabad, we call it vada pav, vada pav.
Okay. Okay.
This is also with rice flour.
But Garalu for us is like different Garalu made with
Makka Garalu. Yeah,
Makka
but
Garalu is again different. Makka Garalu is again around Karimnagar they do Makka Garalu, and there's a sweet sweet liquid rice made with rice to go along with that. My friend Dr. Janki Srinath, she used to do and get it when we were in college. So so Ullikadalu Vadapa is with rice flour and Bengal gram soap and spring onions, Ullikadalu or spring onions and green chili, sesame, cumin, and okay. What is this banana leaf is used for?
banana leaf, in which item?
In Ullikadalu
Banana,
Vadapa. Square
banana
banana
leaf.
leaf you wrote here. So I was just thinking, yeah, are you going to make it on the banana leaf and then fry it?
Just to, yeah, to get the grip.
To get the grip. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, just like Garalu only, how we do with the black gram dal.
Hmm.
That is a little bit wet, but this is like, thin and crispy.
Yes.
It comes out because it's with rice flour.
Yes.
Okay, most of it we did. Mamadikai Papu and all, Sarvapindi you told about, and Sakinalu. Kudumulu is more common one. Bojwar Semia, Siali. Okay, we have done almost the entire book. Almost 95% of the book we did. So tell me, how come you did so many? You're a doctorate in sociology, and you did MPhil in entrepreneurship, and you did nutrition and dietetics, and you did hotel management. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you also did again holistic nutrition program that is recently. So almost a 5 degrees you have. How is it possible, and what motivated you to do that?
I've always multitasked all my life.
Hmm.
So earlier I was doing flower decoration and all that for almost 25 years.
Hmm.
So after 25 years, I thought, let me do nutrition, because every time I used to go to the gym and I used to unknowingly give recipes and diets and how to exercise. So that's when I thought this passion is lurking from then. So finally, I
Okay.
did this 1-year course with Medvarsity, and Dr. Suresh, I found him. That was
Yeah.
like, God sent. And then that's how my career in nutrition started,
Okay.
holistic nutrition.
You have your clinic or something, or are you consulting on online?
As of now, I'm consulting online because of the pandemic, but very
Hmm.
soon I'm going to open my own clinic
Great, great. Which part of the Hyderabad?
in Secunderabad.
Okay, of course, in Secunderabad. Okay, great. It's a really nice. It's really a nice book. Very nice book. Kitchen Secrets of Telangana is a very nice book, and all recipes we can try, and they are very very tasty. And I did a couple of them, and I'm going to try them on show also, on TV show also. I want to try some of with your permission.
Please do, madam.
Okay. So any more questions?
Nothing major,
Anybody?
doctor. Just asking about the price of the book and where it is available.
Hmm. Okay.
Price of the
Someone
book.
asked, it's Patra in Gujarat.
Yeah.
That is Batra. Batra is Patra in Gujarat. So
No, she
is it?
mentioned it for the
Colocasia.
Chamagadda,
Okay,
Colocasia
okay.
leaves thing.
Okay,
So that is
Kolkata.
called as Patra.
Okay, okay.
And that's it. I mean, on Facebook, they're asking for the price of the book and the where it is available.
Yeah,
It
what
is,
is the price of the book?
the price of the book is $7.99, and it's available on Amazon.
Okay, okay. And we can give the link under the comments in Facebook so that people can directly click and order for that. So what is your next project, Karuna?
Next project is setting up a clinic.
Okay, I mean, I'm talking about the books.
about the book, I want to write about the lost vegetables and herbs. Like, for example, Gangavailakura, purslane. It's Mahatma Gandhi's favorite.
I see.
It's got antioxidants and so many benefits it's got. So like that, there are so many vegetables and herbs and spices in India which are not given the due to them. So I want to come up with something like that with a few simple recipes so that it's easy to follow.
Maybe down the lane, 1 or 2 years, another book review will have.
Thank you.
Gangavailakura is still there, but even unknown, which is not known, is something called as Anapakai Ginjalu, which is available only during like December, January, February, at the most February. Only just 2 to 3 seasons. It's a kind of, again, the beans, chikkudukai, something. It looks like chikkudukai only, and the Anapakai Ginjalu. They make gudalu out of it again. So which is restricted only to that Karimnagar and Siddipet area, and very less in Hyderabad. So that is something
which is beans are there around.
Beans
lot
are
of
there.
Beans,
yeah.
Right.
So Gangavailakura Mamadikai Pappu is all-time favorite here in Telangana, which is made out of Gangavailakura and mango combination. It is like must in summers. So there are many more like this. I, being from Telangana, got to know all these things from my grandmother. And especially the avakai thing, which Karunagaru was sharing, that mixing and, feeding it to every kid in the house. I mean, the first day, the taste is like different. What we taste it after 3 to 4 days is something else. But on the day when it is prepared and when Amama, mix it and gives it, that really we remember those childhood memories, and, it just flashes like this. All these things are there on the Kitchen Secrets of Telangana, which is like an amazing book to cherish all those memories.
As I was going through, my memories, started off like, whenever my grandma, my paternal grandma, whenever she used to come to Hyderabad to see us, she used to bring us one big pot of ariselu. Ariselu is made with a rice flour. I'm sure it's a sweet, all of you know. They used to make this with during Sankranti, when the harvest with fresh rice that is harvested. So because it used to, like, when you chew it, it used to, like, it used to be sticky kind of thing. That kind of ariselu are not there right now anywhere. You don't find them. So in ragi pot, she used to get us. She used to put
layers.
them like a layers of pile them like layers, and she used to put this banana leaf on top, and she used to tie on cloth to that. So the moment she comes, I used to just look for that ragi pot with the, if it is there or not, So we used to like long for that. The moment we open that cloth, that very nice sweet aroma of ariselu comes, and we never used to eat lunch or dinner anything. We used till we completed that entire pot. Me and my father are very fond of my grandma's recipe. That is so. I mean, now I can't see. Even with battery light, if you go around, I cannot find people doing that. So it is great thing that you have done, because many recipes they go off with them only. The way they do, and the way they do, there is a lot of love and affection in that. So that is one of the ingredients which is not there right now when we buy from many sweet shops. That ingredient is absent.
True. So Sandhya is asking, Karnagaru, what are medicinal importances of Telangana cuisines? Any medicinal importance?
For example, if we take green leafy vegetables or basil, dill leaves or curry leaves or drumstick leaves, or so many things, they have medicinal benefits. We can take it as green juices or immunity drinks, all the spices, a lot of a karela vegetable, a gongura. So many vegetables and spices and green leafy vegetables are have many medicinal properties.
Okay.
Garlic.
So your friend Srinath, I guess, great insights and revelations of family culinary heritage. Have tried a few recipes from the kitchen secrets of Telangana, and they have all turned out well.
Thank you.
And who is the photographer of your recipes?
Cover page, Varsha.
No,
Rest
the
of them?
Varsha Rajan Halli. She lives in Bangalore.
Okay, okay. So Kindle version is $3.99 and hard copy is $7.99 on Amazon. So you can choose which one you want. You can go for that and try the recipes and enjoy the recipes. So,
Samatha is asking to make some videos of this, of the recipes.
yeah,
I'm planning
Dr.
to.
Janaki has already promised.
I will definitely do that. And I love a couple of them, so I will definitely do them.
Yeah.
Jonna laddu and kobbar pal charu. Okay, so shall we say goodbye to Karuna? Vote of thanks.
Yes, yes, doctor. So thank you, Karuna Garu, for being on Tea Talks Tuesday and giving us and sharing the amazing recipes of Telangana secrets. And I could cherish my childhood memories for some time. And yeah, it was great talking to you. And thank you for being on Tea Talks.
Thank you, Janaki Madam. Thank you, Mayuri, and all the viewers over here who have come and listened to me patiently. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you all next Tuesday, same time, same place. Bye for today.